athletic director provides all coaches with support, helps guide us along the way. A lot of times we're getting new coaches and they need that support to know what their responsibilities and what their roles are. So the athletic director typically meets with all the coaches at the beginning of the year, make sure that we understand what our job is as a coach, make sure that we're fully trained and that we've met all the requirements as coaches, and then they just support us all the way through the year. If we need help as a softball team and baseball too, to make sure that our facilities are booked and that we have umpires, that we have buses, so they help put all the pieces together and make sure that our athletics programs are running smoothly.
So the athletic director has a huge role with our sports program. So one of the things they do, one of the simple things is like organizing our schedules and help making sure we don't interfere with other schedules, ordering our buses and things like that. But the most important is that they're our liaison between us and the parents. They're the liaisons with us and administration. They go to a lot of meetings that deal with changes that are happening within our league. We're changing leagues this next year, and so the athletic director is a big part of that. So basically they do a bunch of the little things that coaches don't have the time to do, and then they're also they're in charge of us, so they'll also tell us if we need to make changes or certain things that need to happen. They'll be the ones that will talk to us about it. But if I ever have an issue with anyone within my program, I go and talk to the athletic director.
I think that there is an advantage to having the experience of coaching before being in a position that helps support coaches, because only somebody who's actually been a coach is truly going to understand the daily things and the daily troubles that they're going through. So he'll just have a greater understanding for coaches, so he can better help support them and help guide them through their seasons and prepare for their seasons.
So I still think of him as Coach Sims as of right now. I think Coach Sims will bring a lot. I think it's really important that you're a former coach, because if you go into the athletic director spot not having been a coach, you don't understand all that we have to go through. So it's really important that you understand the time that it takes to be a coach, all the things we deal with, all the little side things that people don't know about. So if our athletic director understands that, then they're more able to work with us effectively. And they're also more empathetic. So he'll be able to, like, if I go to him and I have an issue with a parent, with a player, with something happening, he can understand because he's been there. And so I actually think it's huge that any person in a managerial role, that they have been in that spot before.
Well, I think when there is change in a position, we all have to learn how to be flexible as there's new ideas and new procedures that are being implemented. But just as I've had confidence in all of our past athletic directors, I know myself and my coaching staff has a lot of confidence in Coach Sims, and being that I've known him since we were young kids, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to work with him as our leader of the athletic department.
Oh, they're really big changes, to be honest. I've coached here for 15 years and had 2 different athletic directors. I was really close with Mr. King, and I thought he did a really, really good job. Before that, Scott Kostecka also did a great job. So me personally, it's going to take getting used to just having a different perspective. Coach Sims is a different personality than Mr. King, but I have a good relationship with Mr. Sims, and so I feel that we will work well together, and I'll be able to get lots of assistance. And I like the idea of having a weight training program for my basketball players, but just a different atmosphere, and I think just kind of learning to navigate what works best with different personalities. So for me, it's just going to be having to kind of change what I deem as important, and how I approach my situations will just be different than how I've done it in the past. So I think every athletic director has a different emphasis, and I know that Coach Sims is really big into weight training, and so I know that one of his goals is to get all of the athletes in a program, so in a weight training program, and that's very different than what Mr. King was doing. But in general, our school is going through a ton of transformation within our athletic department, so I know that Mr. Sims will be also working with admin more, and more of the office will be up with admin, which is different than how it's been in the past. And I think that Coach Sims will bring an interesting perspective with being football, is we haven't had an athletic director with football, and since we're getting new football coaches, I think it's important that we have someone in there that really understands what football is all about.
For the Beat of the Drum, this is Dylan Foster and Travis Brayton signing out.